So hey guys, and thanks for joining me for another video. Welcome to the Random Watch Dude channel. I'm just some random watch dude who today is wearing a Seiko SBDC 065, the Great Blue Hole, if you'll excuse my French. And speaking of French, guys, really, that's a great segue, isn't it? That was completely unplanned. But speaking of French, this is a special video today. I want to talk about the tariffs that our good friend and ally across the world, Mr. Donald Trump, has just imposed on the rest of the world, giving the rest of the world the middle finger and taxing the crap out of everybody. Well, how does this affect the Swiss watch industry? How does this affect the Swiss watch industry? And for those of you who don't know of this tariff business, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into the politics of it. I'm not going to share my views on whether it's right or wrong. All I want to do, guys, is talk to you about the enormous 31% tariff which the Swiss watch industry now has to apply or pay when it sends its Swiss watches into the United States of America. Okay, so our good friend, Mr. Donald Trump, friend to the world. I think one day Donald Trump's probably going to be leader of the United Nations, you know, the way he's going. What do you think, guys? I think he'd get a unanimous vote. Leader of the UN. What does the tariff of 31% that is being imposed on Switzerland mean for Swiss watch sales into the United States of America? What does it mean? Okay, so what it could mean is people that just pay more. So let's just take Rolex as an example, and Rolex is probably a good example because obviously they're the largest exporter of Swiss watches, or any watch probably, into the United States of America. And what are people going to do when, of course, you know, the price tag, the hang tag that they're looking at, the hang tag says that it's 31% more expensive this week than it was last week. What are they going to do? They're just going to pay more? Are people just going to pay 31% more because Donald Trump decided to tax the Swiss watch industry 31%? Are they going to pay more? Maybe they will. Maybe some people just will. Are secondary prices going to increase because people are paying more for their watches? There's another one. So how does the tariff affect the secondary market is also a question. Now, I don't know the answers to this, by the way. I don't think anybody knows the answers to this, but I just think it's fascinating to see how this all plays out. Are the people of the United States of America just going to pay more for their watches because they're costing more to get them into the country? Or alternatively, are people just not going to buy watches? Are the people that would normally, you know, think nothing of dropping $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 US dollars on a watch, are they going to be happy to pay 31% more? Maybe they're not, and maybe they're just going to say, no, I can't afford it. I simply refuse to pay it. I refuse to pay the tariff on this Swiss luxury watch. So what happens then? What happens if people just refuse to pay it? Well, I'll tell you what happens, because the Swiss watch suppliers will not want to pay the tariff, because they have to pay the tariff to get it into the country. They're not going to want to pay the tariff, only to find that the people of the United States of America don't want to buy that product because it's too expensive. So what happens then? What happens then, guys, is the Swiss watch suppliers just don't send the stock to the United States of America. They send it to Canada, they send it to China, they might even send it to Russia. Who knows? I mean, it's Switzerland, they can do what they like, right? They're neutral. So this is what I think could happen. This is how I think it could play out. I think what could happen is less stock of Swiss watches end up going to the United States because of the tariff. Because I don't think Rolex and Omega and Tissot and Longines are just going to swallow the 31% tariff, and I don't think they're going to get away with asking the American people to pay 31% more, when you consider that the American people, as are the rest of us watch enthusiasts, already paying significantly more for our watches, more than 30% more for our watches than we were 2 or 3 years ago. Another 30% on top of that? I don't think so. So here's what I think is going to happen. Unless the likes of Rolex, Omega and Tissot swallow this enormous 31% tariff, I've got a feeling that they're going to divert their stock elsewhere. And I also think that they're going to amortize they're going to amortize the tariff to the rest of the world. So yeah, that's right guys, the rest of us are going to end up having to subsidise the Swiss watch sales in America by paying more ourselves. So the next round of price increases, which I think will probably come quite soon now from the Swiss watch brands, will be mainly because they are amortising the extra costs to supply into the States by putting the prices up to the rest of us as well. So this is just fantastic, isn't it? And I think to celebrate this, actually to celebrate this occurrence, I think Rolex should release a new model, and I've got it on really good advice from people who should know in the Rolex world. I've got it on really good advice that Rolex are now considering releasing a limited edition US market only watch. It's a new model, and I happen to even know what the name of that watch is. And I'm going to share it. This is a world exclusive, guys. I'm going to share this with you now. The name of Rolex's new American market only model is the Tariff Dweller.